So you want to main Warwick. Well, do you like sniffing? Do you have daddy issues? Do you like a critically acclaimed Netflix series? Or are you potentially a suppressed furry?
Yes! Hell yeah!
Well, Warwick, the Uncaged Wrath of Zon is the one for you. Warwick, formerly known as Vander, was once a daddy. This guy. So Warwick, yeah, he's basically what happens when you try to leave the street life, but the street life doesn't let you go. Warwick used to be this tough guy, some muscle for hire in Zon. Think like gang enforcer with a conscience. One day, my guy tries to go clean, hang up his blades, maybe even start fresh. Problem is, Zon ain't the kind of place that lets you just walk away easy. If you've seen season 1 of Arcane, you know. Next thing Warwick remembers, he's waked up strapped to a table in some lunatic's basement. Singe, the whacked out mad scientist who's basically the Walter White of body horror. Singe starts carving him up like a Sunday roast, pumping him full of chemicals, installing metal parts, experimenting, and basically killing him over and over again. Again, not whatever the heck this is, but this Giga Chad. Now, Warwick's out here looking like a rage-filled werewolf with a metal claw and a tube of chemicals strapped to his back. So in the lore, the real lore, Singe discards Warwick's body after he's done with his experiments. But according to Arcane, Warwick is used by Singe as a weapon. I'm mainly choosing to ignore the Arcane lore here since A, his old lore is significantly better, and B, as you can tell, I disdain how they portray Warwick in Arcane. Anyways, when he gets up from being discarded, it's a total bloodbath. He doesn't know who he is, doesn't remember his name, nothing. He's just hungry, really, really hungry for blood. At first, he's wilding out, killing everybody he sees, doesn't care who it is. But little by little, things start clicking in his head again. A name, a girl screaming, flashbacks of the man he used to be, and the guilt. It doesn't go away. So what now? He's still a monster, no doubt, but he's more of a selective monster. He hunts the worst of the worst, gang leaders, scumbags, real human trash. Basically the kind of people he used to run with. It's like he's trying to make up for his past by taking out anybody who reminds him of his former self. In game, Warwick is classified as a fighter, which fits him beautifully. He's not tanky compared to somebody like Ornn or Sejuani, but more like his sustain makes him quote unquote tanky. The thing about Warwick is that you can play him in so many different ways because his lifesteal carries a lot of these different baboonery builds. I'd say that he's one of the strongest duelers or 1v1 potentially in the game because his entire kit revolves around that delectable lifesteal. So Warwick's passive is Slap Happy. Warwick's basic attacks deal bonus magical damage. If Warwick is below 50% health, he heals the same amount. If Warwick is below 25% health, his healing triples. This passive is insane. I can't tell you how many times I've stayed alive in team fights below 25% HP and just survived based off his healing. You basically use his passive to act like a wounded animal to bait enemies in to fight you. Warwick's Q is Nom Noms, dealing magic damage and healing him for a percentage of the post-mitigated damage dealt. Have you ever tried training a dog, or does your dog just not listen to you when you're telling them to drop whatever is in their mouth? That's basically how this skill works. Warwick will hold on to the champion he's chomping down on and will not let go until after the duration is complete, regardless of flashes, teleports, or crazy across the map ults. Warwick's W, Ultimate Sniffer. Warwick senses enemies below 50% HP, gaining movement speed towards them and attack speed against them. When they fall below 20% health, he frenzies and those bonuses are tripled. A blood trail will also appear to enemies that are below that 50% threshold, as well as enemies that were detected with his active part of his W. This ability paired with his passive makes him insane. When you're low HP, you heal a ton based on how low HP you are. With this ability, which has a passive and an active, You can chase anybody around the map, plus get bonus attack speed, giving him even more healing. The enemy bot laner is low HP, boom, Warwick is there. The enemy top laner barely escapes a 1v1, boom, Warwick is there. The enemy jungler is clearing their jungle, boom, Warwick is in their jungle. Warwick's E. Warwick gains damage reduction for 2.5 seconds. At the end, or if reactivated, he howls, causing nearby enemies to flee for 1 second. This is really the only tanky ability in Warwick's kit. The damage reduction makes it so if you are extremely behind or if you're getting deleted, this will negate a lot of that. A lot of new players mess up this skill by activating it early, but trust me, holding the full duration is way stronger in fights than that 1 second fear. Lastly, Warwick's R. Jump scare. Warwick leaps in a targeted direction, scales based off bonus movement speed, suppressing the first champion he collides with for 1.5 seconds. The faster your movement speed, the further you will jump. So for skill max order, you want to go W into your Q into your E, which is my go-to. If you're behind, go W, E, Q to make yourself last longer in fights. It's extremely deceptive to max Q first, but don't fall down that rabbit hole. Trust me, you will heal way more overall with your W than your Q. So how do I play Warwick? The great part about playing Warwick is he really isn't locked down into one build or skill path. You kind of build whatever you need depending on what's going on in the game. Warwick is both simplistic and complicated at the same time. Anybody can pick him up and play him, but against a seasoned Warwick, it's the most frustrating experience. His entire kit revolves around him healing while doing constant damage. His W gives you bonus movement speed, so nobody can escape you unless somebody breathes damage in your general direction in fights. The lifesteal you have from your autos and paired with your Q and your E makes your survivability insane. Really, that's why doing whatever build or role works on him. The only place people really haven't tried Warwick would be as an ADC. The best way to really maximize your presence in the game is for you to play like a total psychopath. My friends call it playing for the clip because every move and play you make is totally wild. You are constantly jumping into fights, making risky plays, and taking any fights no matter how low HP you are, because your sustain and CC is just that good. Early game Warwick is both amazing and terrible. You have arguably the worst clear in the game, and getting Tiamat is the only way to make clearing on Warwick bearable. The great part of early Warwick is his dueling and map presence. You really want to play around early fights as much as possible, whether that be ganking or invading. Ganking on Warwick is unbelievably easy. You want to lead every or almost every gank with your W. This will give you speed bullet like movement speed towards the laner, making it harder for them to escape you. As you start the fight, you want to start charging up your E, not as much as a damage reducer, but mainly for the CC. I think it's always better to hold your Q because 9 out of 10 times the laner will flash when you show up. When they flash, you will stick on them and fear will push them back into your laners. Any combo you do, you should always assume the enemy champion is going to try to flash away from you. So holding your R until your Q/E combo is the best method. In team fights, again, you want to play like a crazy man, or beast in this case. You are full out engaging and running into everybody. Make sure before you run in, you start charging up your E so you can absorb as much damage as possible. What you want to try to do is run into a fight and jump on their damage. This will force their team to try to peel you off of them, which is basically impossible. Most of the time, you'll be the last man standing in team fights because your sustain makes you basically live forever. It doesn't matter if you are Piper Perry getting gangbanged by their entire team. You will not only survive the pounding, but you'll grab your strap on and peg them back. Building Warwick, it really depends on how comfortable you are on the champion. There really isn't any bad items per se on Warwick. There are optimized builds for him and builds that one tricks go. Here is one of the most popular builds and masteries you can build. And here's my preferred build and masteries. I don't like building Bork on him, mainly because of how nerfed the item has become. A really long explanation of why I prefer going, let's say, Eclipse over Bork, but that's for another video. Your main component for Warwick is building that Tiamat, and from there, whatever build is fair game. Warwick is one of the best reworks that Riot has ever done, in my professional opinion. If any of your boomers remember how old Warwick worked, he was terrible but fun. Your R would basically teleport you and suppress somebody, but that was really his entire kit. In this rework, he really hasn't needed a lot of buffs or nerfs throughout the years until recently, and he gives more ease of access to learn how the role of jungle works. Before I head off, here are some fun clips. Oh, let me bite! No! I'm still alive? Okay. Ah! It just doesn't matter, boys. That was crazy! Oh, hello, friend. Where you going? Oh, where you going? And so when you're fighting people like this, see how I'm like kiting with him when I'm walking? Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It gave me a lot of League nostalgia writing this script. Let me know your thoughts down below and subscribe for more content like this.